Hi, welcome to Strong as You Think. I'm glad to have you here with me today. So today I'm going to talk about giving and taking and receiving. So a lot of us think that getting things is selfish, like taking away from somebody else, and we shouldn't get, we should give. Like at Christmas time, we talk a lot about how it's better to give than to receive. So we have all these ideas about how we need to be giving and not getting. And giving is good, it's sharing. And when we give freely, it comes from a belief that if we're share, we will be able to have what we need when we need it. So we don't have to be scared of giving it away. And this comes from an abundant mindset that there's enough for everybody. But this takes faith to operate on this abundant mindset. We need to believe that what we shared isn't gone and that we believe it will come back when we need it, that we'll get what we need when we need it. We have the belief that we're not going to be without. And part of that is that we have belief in our ability to go get that when we need it, to be able to ask for it when we need it. And that it doesn't have to be taking from somebody else. And I think of taking as like when we take something that's really not ours, or when we're taking something, we're getting something at the expense of somebody else. And the problem is that we often think we are either giving or taking. We are either giving to somebody or we're taking something away from somebody. But I think there's another alternative, and I like to call that receiving. And receiving is allowing things to come into our lives or to be able to go after things that we want and need that's not taking away from somebody else, that we are getting, but not at the expense of somebody. But we don't have to assume that everything good we get is taking away from somebody else. We can receive, right? And when we are receiving, we can actually use whatever it is that we are receiving to increase our capacity to create and give good out into the world. Like there's so many things that we wouldn't be able to do if we didn't receive something, if we didn't receive the food that we eat. We wouldn't be able to be alive and create if we didn't receive education, if we didn't receive money, right? If we didn't receive love. All those things that we receive, and then we work those things in ourselves to be able to create and put out things. And when we see it as part of that kind of cycle, we don't have to worry so much that we're taking from somebody else because we are giving more than we received. So when we want something, when we get something in our lives, and we take it upon ourselves to better ourselves from that and put something else out there, there's no need to worry about that we're taking, that we're unjustifiably getting something, that it's actually bringing more good into the world. And I think that doesn't just feel so much better, because it does feel better, but it makes more good happen. It multiplies what's going on. If it's just sitting there and we're saying, I can't take that because it's taking away from somebody else, it leaves things just sitting there and not being used. I think of that a little bit like when the Savior in the New Testament talks about the parable of the talents. Like there's the one person that just saved it and wouldn't, I think he buried it, and the Savior took that away from him. But those that took what they had and used it we're able to get more. And I think that's how it works. I think the Savior's telling us about an abundant mindset and about the goodness and resources have power as they're moving, as we're giving and receiving them. And we're making them bigger and more. So I would challenge you, as you feel guilty for getting or envious when you see someone else getting, that those are feelings of a scarcity mindset, not an abundant mindset. And to maybe question that, is that really true? What if it's actually all for the good and will be creating more when you allow yourself to receive? So watch for those emotions. Watch for when you're feeling envious. Watch for when you're feeling guilty. And see if it has to do with this giving and receiving. And that it doesn't have to be true. And that as you take care of that, you will have more to give and you'll be happier. And we've been taught this idea about it's better to give than to receive so many times. And it's not bad, but I think we misunderstand it a little bit. And so this is something that I can help you tease out when you don't know what's going on. I can help you see where that's showing up in your life as a coach. But you can also just look at that in your life as well. So thank you for joining me. I'd love to work with you. If you don't have a coach, visit my website, amyelkinscoaching.com, to find out more, or follow me on Instagram at Amy Elkins Coaching, or you can follow me on Facebook, Amy Strong Elkins. And all those places should give you other ways of contacting me. But thank you again for joining me, and we'll talk next time. Bye.